What's up, guys? Welcome back to the King Closer Reacts. I am the King Closer, RJ Bates III, and today is one of the greatest days ever because it is my baby girl, Serenity Jane Bates' 8th birthday. Happy birthday, baby girl. Today, we're going to be reacting to some of these silly-ass wholesaling shorts, reels, TikToks. See if I agree or disagree with the takes. Let's get into the first video.
What states do you tell people absolutely do not buy Section 8 in these states?
California.
And why?
It's not landlord-friendly.
Yeah.
You're not going to net anything. New York doesn't make sense. There's no cash flow. Just the blue states overall, I generally try to avoid. Even if the property cash flows, why would I buy there?
Yeah.
It takes 6, 7, 8 months to be able to evict the tenant. If I buy it in Ohio, for example, we could put the eviction notice up, 5-day eviction. We could take it to the courthouse and we could get them out within 2-3 weeks.
Listen, I can't take the little baby video serious. This little baby's like, I'm gonna evict your ass in 5 days up in Ohio. But getting to the actual content of it, even though it's really hard to actually see the actual content. I agree. Pretty much every liberal state out there is pretty rough when it comes to being a landlord. And I've talked about this several times here on King Closer Reacts. It doesn't make sense why these states have these laws where it's, 2-3 months. Sometimes, I mean, we've even had on here where we're talking about in Maryland, where we have people on Instagram creating Instagram accounts, teaching people how they can be squatters and rip off landlords. Why would you want that? That's what I don't understand. So I agree. If you are deciding that you want to become a landlord, I would definitely pay attention to those red states.
Wholesaling is banned in Illinois, Pennsylvania, Nebraska, Alabama, and now South Carolina. So what does this mean for the future of wholesaling? Absolutely nothing. This is all just a way to scare people out of the industry. And for the weak mind, it already worked. They went back to their 9-to-5, hating their life, and leaving more money on the table for me and my students. You see, wholesaling is actually a billion-dollar industry that isn't going away overnight, with over 5 million distressed property owners every single year and over 1.6 million investors looking for their next deal. As long as we have a seller and an investor in need, wholesaling can never die. The only thing that will change is your strategy to find your next deal. Over the past few years, we've seen strategies come and go, from driving for dollars to direct mail to bandit signs and even calling Zillow listings. The way you survive in this industry is adapting while the market is behind. And that's why digital real estate is crushing it right now. I mean, me and my students are locking up contracts back to back. So if you want to avoid getting left behind and want a little bit of guidance on how to wholesale deals digitally from home, shoot me a DM and I'll show you the way.
First of all, I love this kid. He's got the sauce right there. I love, we've had him on here a couple of times. His stuff's good. And for that being like a sales pitchy reel, which every now and then we have to do, and personally for me, they're always kind of like cringe, like I throw up in my mouth a little bit after I do them. But we have to do it, right? It's how we feed our families, right? We were running a business, right? I got to take care of my team. I got to get more people to join TU. That was really good. The hook was great with wholesalers being banned. Because again, it's not being banned, but there are regulations that are coming down, and it does scare people away from doing deals in Nebraska and South Carolina and Illinois and all these other places. But to his point, and I completely agree with this, it's not that wholesaling is dying in these states. It's just that we have to pivot and we have to adapt to what the regulations are mandating that we can and can't do. A lot of times, it's either you have to become licensed, work with someone that's licensed, or have disclosures. That is the main thing that these regulations are bringing down and giving more power to the sellers. Guess how you get over that? Transparency, authenticity. Actually get sellers to want to work with you instead of trying to play mind games like the rest of our weak-ass competition.
Nick, the Tampa market, is it oversaturated or do we have some opportunity here? There's definitely a lot of knuckleheads in this business and in this market specifically, but there is a lot of opportunity, and especially the way that this market is going, it's going to continue to push the bad actors out to where the people that are doing ethical business and build a brand and a reputation, they're going to clean up in the markets to come, and they're going to maintain in the market that we're in right now. The rest of the people that are over-promising, under-delivering, and trying to be deceptive with sellers, 6 months from now, they're going to be working at Amazon.
I mean, I agree. Obviously, you guys know I don't believe in the deceiving sellers and all that. But what I will say is, I don't know who Nick is, but I'm challenging him to a game of golf. I'll be in Tampa in September, brother. You were 10 over, and you were cutting a reel right there. All I'm saying, Jordan, when we cut our video, we made sure we made par, baby. We were even on that hole, right? We ain't doing no 10 over bullshit. Yeah, Nick, I got you on the course anytime you want, baby. I'll be in Tampa in September. We'll see you then.
Like at that point, that kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for me was we bought a deal in Philly from a wholesaler that was under contract with another wholesaler. So it was like guy number one made $40,000. Guy number two made $80,000. So and then the seller got whatever. Yeah. And the deal was still a good deal for me. So I didn't bitch or complain. It's like, hey, you guys made your money. But it was impossible to look at that and be like, man, I'm about to do this giant rehab. Yeah, put all your money in. Like at that point, that kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for me was we bought a deal in Philly from a wholesaler that was under contract with another.
I don't know what he's trying to say here. Like, you run your numbers, you just said it's a good deal. Once you found out that the wholesalers made $120,000, that broke the camel's back. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Why? Because you weren't going to make $120,000. Maybe that's what he was saying. Now that I'm going to get into wholesaling because I'm going to go do this giant rehab. Now, I wasn't going to make that much money. Well, for one, you're the end buyer. You have all of the power. You don't have to actually buy the deal. But if it was a good deal and it was a deal that you wanted to buy and you would buy day in and day out, and it's what you were looking for, then kudos to those wholesalers for one, solving the seller's problem and providing exactly what your end buyer wanted, which is a deal that he bought, and also for making $120,000. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I also could hear the podcast host in the background go, oh, there was two wholesalers involved. Listen, I actually teach people inside of Titanium University. When you get started, you need to be focused solely on acquisitions. And then JV with another TU member for dispositions so you can stay laser focused. So one, that seller gets taken care of, the deal gets moved, the dispositions people already have the relationship with that guy, the end buyer, so you don't take your foot off the gas pedal. Help more sellers. There's nothing wrong with having multiple wholesalers involved. It doesn't mean it's a daisy chain deal. It can just be literally how their wholesale businesses are set up and leveraging the communities that they're in. So, I don't know. I don't love the attitude in there when it's like, oh, one guy made 40, another guy made 80. It's like, listen, that could just be the way that they want to run their business, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
If you're still wholesaling like it's 2020, you're probably struggling to close deals.
Facts.
Here's what's working in 2025 and what you need to stop doing
ASAP.
The game has changed. Sellers are smarter, buyers are pickier, and the market isn't as forgiving. But if you adjust, you'll thrive. First, stop relying on mass cold calling alone. AI-driven lead gen, strategic JV partnerships, and inbound marketing are the future.
There you go.
Second, focus on real solutions for sellers. They don't just want a cash offer, they want options. Be the investor who understands creative financing, novations, and subject to deals. Third, build real relationships with buyers. You're not just selling a contract, you're solving an investor's problem. The stronger your connections, the easier it is to dispo deals. Wholesaling is alive and well in 2025, but only if you evolve with it. Want more details on how to wholesale profitably this year? Drop 2025 in the comments down below.
All right, so I like his takes. Obviously, lead generation has changed since 2020, right? Mass cold calling, mass texting, that was the big deal. Now, a lot more inbound strategies. when it comes to the options for sellers, I do agree with this. Listen, I'm the guy that's always talking about the hedge fund concept. However, I do believe there is power in doing novations, understanding current market value and doing wholesales, understanding creative finance like seller finance and sub twos are extremely powerful. As a newer wholesaler, though, do not get lost in thinking that you have to understand all of those strategies right out of the gates. You can leverage, like he said, strategic JV partnerships of people that are already doing those and have that as their main business structure. And then finally, building a relationship with your end buyers. I don't think that's changed since 2020. I think that's always been the case. I just don't think many people talked about it back then as we do today, especially with the power of the dispositions softwares that exist, right? Everybody's getting the emails and the mass text messages and that. It's about, do they know who you are? Do they know that Titanium Investments brings solid deals? And can it be a simple, quick phone call and you dispo a deal? That's the kind of relationship that you need with your end buyer. So love that take. All right, guys, that's our episode of The King Closer Reacts. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said at the beginning, I had to say a very special happy birthday to my baby girl, Serenity. One of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life. And just like her namesake, she literally is my Serenity. So I love you, baby girl. Happy birthday. Show Serenity some love in the comments. We'll see you guys tomorrow.